Hi, it's Terry. Got a few minutes before I have to get to work, so I thought I would upload my attending exercise for this week. Hope you can hear me. Um, I want to make a confession, which is that since I've started school and work and everything else that I'm doing, I really haven't taken a lot of time to read the Bible. I've been studying the Bible, but I hadn't taken time to just read it, like I used to do for myself. But the good news is that God is meeting me weekly with the same verse, and that's a blessing to me. Um, Moved into a new apartment, same complex, just from a 2 bedroom to a 3 bedroom, and so I was able to find some construction paper, which is a miracle, much like the miracles that we're talking about. So um, I had a little time to do this with my granddaughter, and I posted that in addition to this one because I promised her that I would. So hopefully you guys can take a look at that as well. But my scripture was Luke 22. I'm sorry, Luke chapter 8, verses 22 through 26. And for the sake of time, um, I won't go and read every part of it, but it is the story of when Jesus goes out on the boat with the disciples, and the storm comes, of course, and they are frightened, they are afraid, and he speaks to the wind, and they marvel. And of course, the wind calms down. So here's my paper. I'm not sure you can see it. And here's my sweet Elenus. Isn't that sweet? So anyway, funny story. During this part, she talked about when Jesus cut a man's nose off and reattached it. I said, honey, I think it was an ear. She was like, oh, I knew it was some body part. But anyway, um, some of the things that I saw in this passage this week was that the disciples represent responsibility. Oh, everything's backwards. The disciples represent responsibility. Jesus is responsible for their safety, from getting them from one place to the other. And the wind I saw represented two things. It could propel you, which is what it was doing at first. It was taking them to their destination. But at some point, that same wind, with some added elements, becomes opposition. And that's something that's really speaking to me this week. Having a job full time and working has propelled me in different ways. I've been able to accomplish some things financially that I was not able to accomplish, but at the same time, um, in addition to everything going on with us, it can also be an opposition. And so, peace, uh, or the ability to speak, which is the power of words, that has been really important. The other thing was emotions of the disciples. I put that they're ever changing. They went from calm to being in danger, feeling threatened, feeling afraid, and that was something very important in this scripture this week. I actually came upon a woman who had a wreck here in Nashville and was laying in the middle of the interstate, and thankfully I was able to stop and stay with her until the ambulance came. And I experienced this week calm and all of a sudden sheer panic, and just having to ask the Lord to give me peace in the middle of a panic situation. So Once again, this scripture has really ministered to me, even though it has been an assignment. It's actually also been the word uh, coming to life for me. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about really quickly is that Jesus represents rest and, most importantly, safe passage. He's going to take us through safely. I know that at times I feel like, oh my God, am I ever going to make it through this? And if I do, will I be in one piece or will I be scattered? But I have the promise that I'm His cargo, and that I'm precious, and that He will carry the load, that He won't put more on me than I can bear, and that all of this serves as a platform. Where's the word platform? Platform for me to represent Him and represent Him well. So, guys, that's all for this week. Gonna get upstairs and work. But thank you again, and have a great week, guys. Bye.